Episode, and it's Friday and it's a public holiday. It's weekend. Join together. I hope you had a wonderful night rest. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra Show. My name is Nonye Wokoye. Let's begin with a press review. Press review this morning. It's audience participatory as usual, and you have a lot of papers from the Nigerian dailies and, of course, stories making their headlines on ABS website. In the studio this morning, we've been joined by Comrade Imande Ezenago, a public affairs analyst. Welcome to the studio, Imande.
Good morning, the Anambra.
All right, we also have Ejike Abata, also a public affairs analyst. Welcome to the studio, Ejike.
Good morning, glad to be here.
All right, let's run with looking at stories making their headlines on ABS website. 2023 World Earth Day, Soludo calls for proactive measures towards protecting environment. Mrs. Soludo restates free rotavirus vaccination in Anambra State, cautions against selling vaccine. Stamp duty. Anambra State Assembly asks state government to explore out-of-court settlement. All right, Imande, let me begin from you. Which story is of importance to you now?
Okay, I want to start with the Soludo calls for proactive measures towards protecting environment. He has been a proactive governor in the sense that in the first few months he assumed office, he started sharing out seedlings of coconuts and palm kernels. These are the measures to protect our environment, whereby we plant trees, and also in this particular action that he took also will prevent erosions, because in the southeast, Anambra State is one of the worst hit states with erosion. So planting of trees and all these things has always been a remedy to erosions. So for him to say that that we have to be proactive, he has shown us that example of a proactive.
He's taking the lead.
Yes, he has taken the lead. So it's now left for us to follow suit.
All right, Ejike, quickly. Mrs. Soludo restates free rotavirus vaccination in Anambra State, cautions against selling vaccine. Do people sell vaccine?
Yes, these are some of the problems we have. You know, most times we don't always we keep looking at those at the center or our leaders as those who are the causes of our problems, whereas those others in their little space are committing worse crimes compared to those who look up to us as leaders. Vaccines have been provided free of charge. You are being paid as a staff of a health facility to administer these vaccines. Then on your own, you decide to take money from people before you administer the vaccine. It's crime, it's criminal. And such persons should be arrested. These are the things.
And our parents should also be aware that no vaccine is for sale. I've not seen a vaccine for sale.
Yes, some parents are
ignorant.
They are ignorant. Some of them are, or most of them are even market women. Most of them are market women, uneducated. So, you understand? So when you tell them you have to pay, when they want protection for their child, So some of them are not able to speak up, even when they try to. The staff of the health facility tend to suppress them with their voice, and it all boils down to ignorance. So more needs to be done. It should be known that these things are free, and the staff facilities of the staff should be cautioned, and it would be okay, it would be nice if we make an example of 2 or 3 persons who are prosecuted and jailed, because it's criminal. These things are free for God's sake. So why do you have to take money from parents before you administer it?
All right, quickly, the Daily Sun newspaper, that's the first paper for review this morning. In front of the Daily Sun, the banner headlines there says, "Why Buhari is after me." That's coming from Governor of Benue State, Autumn. "President against me over anti-grazing." And IMF projection, economists task Tinubu on speedy economic growth. We have riders there. Ukraine president invites president-elect. FG concessions on its port for 30 years. FG concessions on its port for 30 years. Election outcome in line with my pledged legacy of free, fair polls. And that's coming from our president, Muhammadu Buhari. Salah, Tinubu, Obi, Saraki, Kalo, Ugwuanyi, Bello preach peace, unity, rule of law. We try that the IGP orders tight security on praying grounds. FG withdraws immigration case against Seplat CEO. Nigeria has second highest unvaccinated children. That report coming from UNICEF. Adamawa, Buhari approves a suspension of INEC Rec, Ari. Others investigation of police, DSS, and SPD officials. And Nigeria, okay, jubilation as Nigeria begins direct flight to Israel. Okay, that's just about it in front of the Daily Sun. Ejikele is still on you. I don't know, can we look at the issue, story of Autumn saying that Buhari is against him because of anti-grazing law?
Well, for those who know the history of what has been happening in Benue State as regards headsmen and the locals, let's also remember that Autumn used to be a member of the APC before he moved to the PDP. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why they are having this fracas between him and the presidency. And he has said he's one of the governors who have spoken against a grazing law in Benue State because of the way people of Benue are being slaughtered. Good thing, the problem has been minimized for some time now, but as at 2 years ago, a year ago, we used to have this almost every week. You had a number of persons have been slaughtered and so villages. In fact, as we speak, Benue State has IDP camps there's an IDP camp in Benue State. So these are problems between the presidency and Benue State government. And Autumn, in response to what Autumn has said, the presidency said they offered help to Benue, but Autumn rejected it in terms of security or securing Benue citizens. But the presidency said Autumn rejected such an offer. We wouldn't know what is actually the problem between these two parties. But good thing, both of them will leave office very soon. We have new people in place, and hopefully, there will be an end to this problem. My concern is for the people of Benue who are living in fear in their own.
They are predominantly farmers.
They are predominantly farmers. So it's a problem that affects the entirety of Nigeria, because for some time now we've not been able to have much quantity of farm produce coming from that area compared to what we used to have. So hopefully there will be an end with the incoming government.
All right, the New National Star is the next in our lineup. Let's see stories. Autumn is still speaking. Buhari endorsed Benue mass murder. says president failed woefully. 68 killed, 15 injured in Kaduna communities in 1 month. And we also have North should stay clear of NAS leadership. Ndoma Ebe speaking. Smuggling, FEC approves 3.47 billion naira surveillance aircraft for customs. INEC denies complicity in Adamawa supplementary election. Buhari approves Adamawa Rex suspension. Ask police, DSS, NSCDC to investigate officers' roles. Hippopotamus kills pregnant woman in Benue. Amidst financial crunch, FG to spend billions training NAS first-timers as induction holds May 7 to 20. Okay, I don't know. Do we look at the issue of NAS leadership? Because we saw lists of people, vying for that position. And it's equally a surprise to me to see the adverts on papers where people are, contesting for NAS leadership. So what's your take on this? Ndomeba is saying that North should stay clear of NAS leadership.
First, before I come into the NAS leadership, let me go to the presidency.
All right.
Let me start from the presidency, rather. After the national confab, it was agreed that power should always rotate. And in the rotation, they agreed it to be between the North and the South. Then, coming to the presidency, power is to shift to the South. But it's quite unfortunate that after the February 25th election, it has to go to the West instead of the East, because the East has not produced a president from the South region, from the Southern region. Now, that will bring us into the Senate. The present Senate president is from the North. So, power of the position of the Senate president should move to the South again. So any Northern this should stay clear, because that is, in when sharing things to people, it has to be equal. When the other party feels that he or she is cheated, he will not feel, he will feel bad. He will feel good. He will not feel good, rather. Okay. He will feel bad. So the North should stay clear. Maybe the North can go for maybe the reps. Yes, I'm supporting. Yes, I'm supporting.
With the way things are going in our nation now, do you really think that people are fair? There's justice in the land as regards to sharing of power. Do you think it's happening?
For now, it's not. It's not fair.
Because
so we can start it now.
Because in the list we have more Northerners in that list.
Yes, we have more
vying for the NAS seat.
We have more Northerners, and one of the reasons why we have more Northerners are, there is hierarchy in that. So the reason why we have more Northerners is that most of the people from the South are coming for the first time. Most of them are coming for the first. Then those that were before are not returning back again.
And they told you yesterday that they are not going to do whether you're first time or not, you're not first time again.
Yes.
When the Ojus Okalo was saying, he was talking with regards that he's been there over and over again, that it's people that are experienced. But in the paper yesterday and 2 days ago, we are seeing another thing that they are not going to do it whether you're a first timer or not, and maybe that's why they're trying to conduct this training. But and another reason why they are also fighting is that they believe that the Northerners has always have this, that they are the ones holding the national power, which the ideology is not supposed to be so. We all are Nigerians. We all have our but the
civil
question
rights.
still lies: do we still have laws and people that obey the laws, especially the elites? You know, I don't know if you understand where I'm going.
There's nothing like, we should be talking about federal character here, but there's nothing like federal character as we speak. Yes. So it's free for all.
Because sometimes you see people talking from both mouths, you know.
What we are experiencing now is, if you have the money, you have whatever you have I heard
the connection.
The connection. I heard people, they are already spending millions of dollars to buy votes for the Senate. millions of dollars to buy votes.
For the Senate presidency.
Senate presidency, yes. So it's laughable. It's about how much money you have. It's not about, nobody's talking about your experience now. Nobody's talking about where you come from, if you are from the north or the south. No, it's about what you have to offer. And it keeps getting bad. It's usually not like this before. But it keeps getting worse as the days roll by.
Okay, let's look at the Punch newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Punch newspaper. Sudan conflict, 1,262 Nigerian students demand evacuation, 330 residents killed. With riders there, Nigerian students fill forms for airlifting. Uganda, Tanzania rescue nationals. 3,200 injured as outage, food, water scarcity hit Khartoum, says WHO. Buhari suspends Adamawa wreck. Other security agents probe. 10 seas move. Sorry, can't see that again. Moon sighted in Saudi Arabia. Muslims mark Eid al-Fitr Friday. National Assembly inducts lawmakers-elect May 7. Banana Island developer planned to rake in 22 billion naira revenue. That's report. Ogun community 1-year blackout lingers over IBEDC disagreement. Military will ensure peaceful handover May 29, says DHQ. Okay, Ejike. Do you look at the Vanna headline about the Sudan conflict? 1,262 Nigerian students demand evacuation.
When I saw that report, I felt bad. And it goes to tell how bad our education system is. We, in search for quality education, Nigerians have even gone to Sudan of all places.
To go and study.
To go and study. Sudan of all places. That is how bad it is. Yes, some persons will argue that their parents are there, maybe they were born there, yes. But I don't want to believe we have up to 1,000 and something persons who do their businesses in Sudan. So it goes to tell that our education system is fast deteriorating. We used to talk about Nigerians going to Ghana, Benin Republic, and Togo to study. Now they are going to Sudan of all places, for God's sake. It's worrisome. And it calls for concern. It calls for concern. And sadly, nobody, it's just one of those things. Nothing will stop, nothing will change. Nothing will change. How would Nigerians go to Sudan, of all places, in search of quality education? A country as big as Nigeria that has produced and continue to produce some of the finest intellectuals across the world. We are going to Sudan for education. I hope they are fast lifted. I hope they are brought back home safely. And it behoves on our leaders to sit back and rethink again and find out and see reasons why it's a shame for Nigerians to go to places like Sudan in search of education. We have everything we need to provide the best of education here in Nigeria. Sadly, I keep saying this. We've had time and time again that the quality of education we are being offered there in Nigeria is outdated.
And to think that the Commissioner for Education in Anambra State has started conducting meetings to plead with people not to indulge in examination malpractices, you know. the rate at which we indulge in exam malpractice, and she said something about the previous exam, the previous WAEC of last year, what happened, that they wouldn't want it to happen. And of course, they've tried to change the people, the vigilators they used last year. You know, just
these
to tell you.
But these things are not rocket science. Stopping these things, and it's not. These are not issues we should be discussing. How can you be talking about stopping exam? What do you need? Somebody from Europe to come and tell you how to stop exam malpractice in Nigeria? So there are better things to talk about. What you should really be discussing about stopping exam malpractice. They don't know what to do to stop exam malpractice. How many persons have been prosecuted? How many teachers? How many parents? How many students have been prosecuted for exam malpractice?
Then, coming to that also, if we can have more than 1,000 students in Sudan, how much more, or how many number of people do we have residing in Sudan? I mean Nigerians. You know, the system, the current system failed us. And if you go to Nigerian embassy, over 70% of the immigrants there are students, are going for student visa to Canada, UK, and what have you. So if our system has not failed us, nobody would love to leave Nigeria.
All right, let's quickly run. The Daily Independent newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories in front of the Daily Independent. Buhari failed woefully in securing Nigeria. That's coming from Autumn. Says president endorses insecurity killing in Benue. Emboldened Fulani pastoralists in their expansionist agenda. Okay, even in the face of provocations, remain calm, Obi tells supporters. With a rider there, Abure, others, no fate May 12 over LP's leadership tussle. We didn't compromise Adamawa governorship election. That's coming from INEC. The end yet to be heard of 2023 presidential poll, IPAC chairman. Buhari suspends controversial Adamawa rec. Nigerian students trapped in Sudan fighting seeks evacuation. May 29 handover date remains sacrosanct, military assures. With rider there, Tinubu announces 13 member presidential inauguration committee. Diri orders prosecution of herders for breaching anti-grazing law. No specific date to remove fuel subsidy. Federal government speaking. 2023 election was transparent, says Buhari. Okay, now, Ejike, I don't know. Tinubu naming a transition committee, presidential inauguration committee. I thought it's the sitting president, it's sitting administration's responsibility to do that, because in Imo State, I know it's the governor of Imo State that, Abia State, the governor of Abia State picked, I think, 12-man committee to do that in Abia State.
And, this is Nigeria. This is also APC. I dare say it. It's also APC where anything goes. It builds on the president to name members of his transition committee. Then the incoming president or administration will produce maybe 2 or 3 or 5 persons, to join the committee. That is how it is done. Okay. Not the president-elect, who we do not know if he will be inaugurated on the day. I'm saying this based on nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. I'm not talking about outcome of a tribunal or election or whatever. I'm not talking about that.
The military is giving us assurance that it's going to be sacrosanct. That means the military will come out.
Beyond that, there might be natural causes. Anything can happen that will make that day inauguration not to hold. So it's not his duty, it's not his responsibility to name members of the transition. It is the duty of, and the president will not have anything from the presidency against what the president-elect has said. That is, when you sleep, you wake up and you see new ways of doing things in this and it goes. Nobody says anything. Nobody questions it.
Okay, now I don't know. Obi is still talking to her supporters to be calm, in the face of provocation. My dear, can you look at it? Eman Diezenago.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
You know, we all know the outcome of the February 25th election, and people are provoked. People are angry. People are not happy about the outcome because the way I'm seeing it, INEC deceived us at the end as close to the election because they gave us the full assurance that the election will be free, fair, credible, transparent, and all that.
But our president is still insisting that the election is transparent. You can see that in the Daily Independent newspaper.
Yes, himself. You know, everybody is entitled to his opinion. That's his own opinion. Then we, majority of Nigerians, know that it's not just like the popular say that we see in social media, what we order versus what we got. That was what INEC did to us. So in the face of this provocation, Obi keeps calming his supporters because he knows that his supporters hear him and they listen to him. In fact, for a supporter to hear a leader and listen to a leader, that means that leader is qualified to be a leader. So for him to tell his supporters to calm down, that means he's even pursuing peace in the country. There are some people that will say that will even spearhead violence or protest in the country. You understand? But in this case, he has always pursued peace, even after the February 25th election. That was when he started preaching to his supporters that they shouldn't do anything.
Okay, quickly, The Nation newspaper is next. Let's see stories in front of The Nation newspaper. Buhari axes Adamawa Rec, other security chiefs probe. We have read there, IGDSS, DG, and SCDC boss get directive to act. President Tinubu, Governor Sultan call for peace at Eid al-Fitr. Bako Wokoma, Oketete 10 others in transition sub-team. DHQ, May 29 inauguration of Tinubu sacrosanct. And we also have other stories. Government to evacuate Nigerian students from Sudan. And ahead subsidy removal. Federal government plans 6-month petrol stockpile. All right. Ejike, do we look at the issue of Adamawa Rec? Because it's been appearing in all the papers we've seen today.
Buhari has asked him, and if I understand that he has been suspended, but beyond that, he needs to be prosecuted. It's not enough to just suspend him and let him take a walk. He should be prosecuted. He should be arrested and made to answer questions as to why he made that announcement.
A
professor made that announcement while votes were still vote counting was still ongoing. We want to know why he made such an announcement. We want to know what prompted him. Somebody must have urged him on to make such an announcement. And you know, when parents or adults do things, the children sit back and look at them and emulate them. That was simply what that man did. It's always a case of he might have been told, don't worry, just announce it and leave the rest to us. Just like we see at the outcome of the presidency. Just announce it, don't worry, you're only just to announce. And he did announce it. And I'm also pained because he was another man beared the brunt of the actions of that professor. Another professor, a former vice chancellor, was beaten blue and black, thinking it was the Adamawa Rec, and both of them looked alike, to be fair. But that man bear the brunt of something he never knew about. So you can see the agitations of the anger in the land. You don't You don't go about making such statements, and now we hear he has been suspended. No, he should be arrested and made to answer questions as to why he made. So he's a professor. He's not uneducated. He's not a neophyte. He knew what he did on the day. So he should be made to answer
He's
questions.
not even ignorant of
He's
the
not.
law.
He's not ignorant. He knew what he did. So he should be made to answer questions.
All right. You want to say something?
Yeah, based on from what my brother said, you know, there's an Igbo adage that says that Namili sinisi we balumba. So, if to me, I since he has been suspended and some certain discipline measures will be conducted on him. I believe that same thing should also happen, that same action should also take place in the outcome of the February 25th general election.
Yeah. When they are telling you that when they are telling you that everything was fair and
yes,
free,
that was why I said that Milisi needs to wear, but because there's another Igbo there that said that so that was what happened, because you know that in the history of Nigerian election, this scenario has never happened. It has not happened. So you see, and that means there will be another election or supplementary election or whatever thing for the Adamawa. And for this kind of a thing to happen in Adamawa, we should also try to know what is the interest, their personal interest in this Adamawa state.
He said he did what he was asked to do. So let's know who asked you to do the thing. Yeah. All right, let's look at the Guardian newspaper for want of time. Despite Express Center's corruption, racketeering, hobble passport application process, Eid al-Fitri, continue Ramadan valleys, be modest, vigilant, Sultan, IJP, DSS tell Nigerians. Adamawa Po, INEC denies partisanship as Falana urges NBC to sanction NTA. India, Nigeria top in children lacking single routine vaccination. We move to the next paper, the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's see stories in front of the Daily Trust newspaper. 4,000 Nigerian students stranded as FG tarries on evacuation. Our lives at risk. We are consulting Diaspora Commission, regional global forces behind crisis, General Aguai. Nigeria's oil reserve drops to 36.9 billion naira barrels as gas rises. FG concessions on its port for 30 years. U.S. Congress moves to recognize Ramadan Eid. Tinubu appoints Onanuga, Mawa, 11 others into Presidential Inauguration Committee. Eid al-Fitri, Buhari, Tinubu, Article 1, Bajabiamila seek peace, patriotism. Binani saga, Buhari approves REC suspension, others probe of security operatives. Okay, we take the last paper before we look into them. The Nigerian Tribune now. Adamawa Po, Buhari approves suspension of REC, others probe of security officers. We didn't compromise process, INEC counters Binani. Probe allegation of 2 billion naira bribe, Falana task EFCC and ICPC. Shawal Moon, cited in Nigeria, Sultan declared today Eid al-Fitri. You are more responsible for Benue killings, autumn blast presidency. And $2.4 billion crude oil probe. Malami said to provide comprehensive report. Naira redesign. We lost 50 billion naira to egg gluts, poultry farmers. Riders, they want FG to mop up 15 to 20 million crates of egg. Said 25 million jobs under threat in poultry subsector. And okay, rainstorm kills 6, sweeps boy away in Delta. A gunman killed 2 immigration officers, university lecturer in Taraba. Inauguration, Kiarimawa, Onanuga, 11 others make Tinubu's list. All right. I wonder where the new Naira note is, Biko Kwano. All right, let's begin to look at the stories. Which one are you looking at?
Let me start with the corruption about the passport application from The Guardian.
Okay.
You know, this didn't start today. I think I remember sometime last year when some immigration officers, some were sacked, while some were suspended, while some were also they were demoted. So the corruption in the amongst the immigration staff and non-staff is too much, and the way it does is that it is the rat in the house that tells the one in the bush that there is fish in the basket. in the sense that most of these people, they, for example now, let me use ABS as an example. We are coming to the office of the MD. Are you getting me? Maybe for the first time. You walked across the gate, someone stops you. What do you want to do? You say you want to see the MD. The person will now say, okay. You know, that's their thing. Then the person will now direct you to another place whereby he and them, they are working together. That's the way they do the things. So the best thing,
it seems they've done it to you. You're talking from experience.
So that's the way they issue. Sometimes they will even give you a fake passport. So you see, it has been a reoccurring experience and reoccurring exercise in the immigration, especially at their Abuja headquarters. So, in fact, it's not about telling us that it is too much or this. They should take disciplinary measures. I think I remember that after when their officers were disciplined, it came down drastically that last year. And surprisingly, it sprung up again.
We're still in Nigeria.
It's stronger because more and more persons want to leave Nigeria. Let us also not take away that fact. More and more persons want to live in Nigeria. And part of these problems are caused by Nigerians. Nigerians who are always quick. Yes, Nigerians who want to cut corners. Why would I walk into the High Court, another example, another instance, to get an affidavit, and the security man will be the one to attend to me. And I'll give my money to a security man. I know his job is to be at the security gate. I will not give him my money to go and process an affidavit for me. I think Nigerians, we allow, and then in some cases you are in the bank on the queue, and then one big man in quote walks in. The teller, in fact, the four tellers will start hailing the man. Hey, Oga, welcome, Oga, welcome. And you see the man just walk past the queue, straight to the teller, and they will attend to him. At the end, he will dish out Naira notes to them. So we are always the cause of these problems. If you want to get driver's license, you want to get passports, why not go directly to the office where these things are processed and then follow the right route? Number one, if you do that, it will reduce the cost of how much you will spend. Yes, you might even spend more time, but do the right thing for God's sake. We shouldn't always blame those at the top as causes of our problem. We are also part of the problem. Learn to do the right thing.
All right, can we also look at this issue of rainstorm killing 6 people and sweeping away boy in Delta State? You know, the rains are here. And like yesterday morning as I was coming, I think I saw a roof on the floor at Amobia. And I believe that's the effect of the rainstorm that fell the previous night. So our attitude to the environment, it still goes down to the environment and whatever, to environment.
I weep, yes, my heart boils when I see people dump waste into the gutter. And we are not doing anything about it. I want to call on the government. We are not doing anything, and nobody has ever been arrested. of course, it may not be the problem of but government should charge president generals, charge landlords. They are the ones who will stop it. You don't. There's no way you will station a policeman on the streets by 11 a.m. to checkmate people who dump refuse in waterways.
You know, I remember when that thing happened sometime in Onitsha. The rains were starting like this, and a school child, you know, was swept away by rain in Onitsha. And the then commissioner took a proactive action by clearing all the drainages in Onitsha. I remember vividly this happened. You know, I think we need to, just like you've rightly said, that people should be made aware to take responsibility of their environment.
That's what we should do when the rains are about coming. Let us desilt waterways. Let us desilt water. These are part of the proactive measures that we should take. Once the rains are coming, there are the waterways at Atoeze Avenue. It should be a yearly thing. You don't just do it and you relax and say you've done something, then you wait in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years before you know. It should be a yearly thing because there is high human activity around that area.
Can you also borrow from the developed nations where their land is rain, water everywhere, but we don't hear such reports from such
so we
countries.
We need reorientation. We need massive reorientation. I don't like when people dump waste in waterways, for God's sake. It's pure wickedness. It's sheer wickedness, for God's sake.
So they should be arrested.
They should be arrested. They should be arrested.
Possible. The mobile courts should be made functional for such cases. And another thing is that when it's about to rain, parents should hold their children. They shouldn't be let to go out. And, you know, let's say between next week and next 2 weeks, the school will resume for another term. For another term. One thing, you know, I can remember then when we were still in primary school, when the proprietors checks the time, and the time is coming close to closing hour, and the weather is on, she will demand that the children should go home, even if it is not yet time for the closure. The children should go home before it starts raining. Because these are the situation, because there is this Igbo that said,
okay, we can go on and on because our time is fast spent. We need to go. We need to go. And this is where we wrap up the press review for this morning. We'd like to thank you so much, Comrade Emandi Ezenago, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you also, Ejike Abata, for always being here.
My pleasure.
All right. That's just about it. More coming on Good Morning Anambra Show. Do stay.